What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake I am bringing you the 1993 Honda Civic Coupe that Danny Yamato drives in the Fast and the Furious. Now this was a decently requested car and I'll actually put a lot of those on screen. I think I got a bunch of requests for this, so thank you very much to everyone that actually requested this and actually thought about me when I made this car back in the day and everything. I'm just now bringing it out. I've got a lot to bring out. I also do want to let you guys know that I am going to try something new. I don't ask for this very often, but if this video gets 100 likes, then I will bring out Edwin's Accurate Integra build as well at some point. Probably within like the next week or so that the video actually hits 100 likes. So let's see if we can do that. Let's just see. I'll keep an eye on it, and once I do hit 100 likes on this video, then guess what? I will be actually bringing out the video. But yeah, this was the actual car that was driven by Danny Yamato in the very first race. It's the guy that's literally playing the PlayStation, I think it was PlayStation 1, I believe. In his car, he's like doing a race and everything. And he was also the one that said, as Dom was like boosting forward, like after he shifts, he's like, damn, that guy's fast. But yeah, I thought I'd bring this thing out because I actually saw C8 actually build this car, and I kind of want to go over my take on it. I built this a long time ago. He actually thought about building it himself, and he actually did a really good job. But yes, I will put his link for his video down in the description below. You guys want to check that out. Check out his build compared to mine. So anyways, we're going to start off with the base price. You want to go to the internet. You want to go to the Travel and Transport website. You want to go down here to the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. You want to make sure you are on the featured option, and you want to go down and you want to find the Dinka Kanjo SJ, part of the Criminal Enterprises DLC. Now, if you do not have the trade price, you're going to be paying a whopping $1,370,000, and I'll put that price right there for you guys. So that is the normal price. Now, if you do get the trade price, which you get by actually leveling up in the car meet, which is kind of hence why we're in the car meet, just leveling up every 5 levels, you unlock something new. So you may unlock this car or something. You can unlock it while working on your way up to getting like certain liveries unlocked for certain builds I've done of like Dom's Arc-7, Takashi's 350Z, Morimoto's 350Z, things of that sort. The trade price is going to be $1,027,500. Anyways, once you have your car and you have your color, meet us at Los Santos car meet location. Yeah, without wasting any more time, let's just get right into the build. So as we pull in, the Dinka Kanjo SJ is in the coupe category. I mean, it should be self-explanatory. It is a Honda Civic Coupe. That's pretty much what it is. And it does look really, really nice, and actually does look really, really similar and really close to the actual one from the movie. So as I go over in all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design of the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. So to start things off, you want to go to bumpers. You want to go to the front bumpers, and you would go with the arc bumper. Now I think this one fits the best. It had a kind of like bottom bumper part, vents or something on the bottom, but unfortunately we can't get that on this. But this does have the kind of right style that the actual bumper look like, and it does fit really nicely. So the arc bumper is my best choice for this piece. From there, move on to the rear bumpers. Now unfortunately we don't get to really see too much of the rear bumper, so I'm just going to kind of go with what I think kind of resembles the best of the rear bumper. So I went with the tuner bumper. It kind of gives that cutout for the exhaust there, and it kind of just makes it more of a body kit style to it, but it kind of adds a little bit more length to the actual body kit style to it. So that's what I went for there. From there, move on to the engine. I don't really know what was underneath the actual hood itself, so this is what I have on mine. I think I kept it stock for the most part, but for the air filters, I kept it stock. After that, move on to the engine cover. I think I just kept that none. I don't know why that's a discount symbol, but it's a discount symbol for some reason. And for the strut brace, I went with none too. I mean, for the most part, the car was relatively stock. It didn't have too much modification to it, especially on the interior as well. This mainly was more of a show type car, more fancier like appearance type car than anything. Completely your call on what you want to do with these. If you find any information on these that I didn't, then please let me know down in the comment section down below. From there, move on to the exhaust. I went with the chrome tuner exhaust. It is a tuner car, plus it didn't have like one of these gigantic exhausts. It did not. It's pretty much almost a stock exhaust. Maybe a little bit bigger, but I would not go any bigger than the chrome tuner exhaust in my personal opinion. I think it looks the best, and it just kind of fits the build the best. So yeah, the chrome tuner exhaust is the best option in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the fenders. I went with the stock fenders. It doesn't have any like carbon fenders or like any cutouts or anything like that. It doesn't make the wheel wells open up or anything, so I would just keep it all one solid piece and keep it stock fenders there. From there, move on to the hood. You want to go to hood catches. I didn't see any hood catches on the car, so I went with none. I don't see any hood pins on it, so I wouldn't add any in my personal opinion. After that, move on to the hood itself. I went with the drift hood. He has a kind of like cutout in the hood. It's pretty much like this, but the black pieces are actually not there. Like the vent parts aren't there. It's still white. Like it still looks like the primary color of the car, but the drift hood is the best option in my personal opinion. From there, we move on to the interior. Now, for this, I pretty much kept it stock. So as we can go over this real quick. So for the dash, I kept it stock. Again, pretty much the stock interior. After that, move on to the doors. Again, I kept it stock or none. After that, move on to the seats. I kept them stock as well. Again, there wasn't really too much going on in the interior. Like it was pretty much for the outside of the car, not the inside and the performance wise. And after that, move on to the steering wheels. I just kept that stock as well. Like I said, lackluster on the interior of the actual interior of the car and the underneath the hood, but the outside appearance wise was modified mainly for the race. From there, move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights. You just want to keep them stock. Don't change them. You get that old style look to it. You definitely want that. I wish we could get this normally on a lot of cars. I would love to be able to put it on a lot of cars, but unfortunately we can't do that. So yeah, just keep it stock. In my personal opinion, looks the best. From there, move on to the neon kits. You want to go to neon layout and you want to go to front, back, and sides. After that, you want to go down to the neon color and you want to put on the lime green. Now you're probably thinking, lime green? Why does a lot of people say to put on yellow? Yellow would honestly kind of make more sense, or even a golden shower would make more sense because of his livery being a blue and yellow. But unfortunately, and very weirdly, the actual color scheme is lime green. And I will actually have pictures up on screen of this color, which is really crazy. Even with the color filter that is actually in the movie, it is still lime green. If you want a exact replica or a pretty close replica of the car in game, you want to go with that lime green neon color. From there, move on to the livery. You want to go with the Pisswasser blue gold. Now this one I think fits the best. It looks almost exactly like it, although this is a bit more of a smooth kind of livery to it. In real life, it actually has like more of like a tear or like a rip type design to it. But I mean, it does have the sponsors on the side, sponsors on the back. It does have the stripe on there, and it also has the piece on the front as well. So Rockstar pretty much made this to pretty much resemble Danny Yamato's Honda Civic from the Fast and Furious. But you know them, they can't do like say Danny Yamato's Civic livery. No, they can't do that, otherwise it would probably be copyright. And they can't copy it exactly, so they made their own take on it. And again, I'm happy with it. At least we have a car in game that actually works really well for this, and I think it turned out great. So the Pisswasser blue gold livery is the best option in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the mirrors. You just want to keep them stock. You don't want to really change them, make it any smaller, make them any bigger. You just want to keep them like the standard mirrors that they have. You want to make sure they are nice and white, and I mean, they're pretty much the same color as the car, and they just look normal and they look great. So just keep them stock. From there, move on to the plate. You want to go with a blue and white too, and the custom plate you want to go for is anything you want, because unfortunately, again, we don't get to see the back end of the car. And unfortunately, for all the information, all the stuff I actually have, I have a lot of like information on plates that a lot of people don't have. And sadly, there is no information on the actual plate of the Honda Civic that was in the very first movie. So you can put whatever text you want on it. I put the tuner plate on it because it's a tuner car and it's just a tuner style car. So yeah, I thought that fit the best. But yes, the blue and white 2 is kind of the best representation of a California style plate. And that's kind of what I went for, is I try to keep the plate like the same area, the same region area, as well as possibly getting the custom plate. But most of the time, the custom plates don't work anymore. Rockstar really needs to add a new feature, a new app, new change to the mod shop or the car meet, or make a new website or something. A social club, it don't matter. I'd love to just have my custom plates back. Same respray for last. Move on to the roll cage. You want to go with no roll cage. Again, it was pretty much lackluster on the car's interior. No roll cage added. Just keep it nice and stock. After that, move on to the roof. You want to go to roof fins, and you just want to go with none. Didn't have any roof fins, vortex generators, or any kind of like window spoilers or anything like that, so don't worry about adding that. From there, we move on to the roof itself. You just want to keep that stock. Now you're probably thinking, why wouldn't you change it to actually cover that sunroof up? Unfortunately, it didn't have that covered up. It actually was like exposed and everything. So you want to keep that nice stock roof to have that sunroof on there to actually resemble the car from the movie. After that, move on to the side panel. You want to go with the primary side trim. This will actually make the kind of like little side trim like bar on the side there kind of blend in with the actual car color and everything. As you can see here, the gold is kind of cut out right now, but if you go to the primary side trim, it fills it in and it just makes it look like all one piece. And it just works the best. From there, move on to the skirts. You want to go with the GT skirts. I think these fit the best. Now, the main reason I say this is because he had a kind of vent on the back end side. Unfortunately, they do stick out a little bit with like the little black bars. But I mean, other than that, you can't get like a straight down design, kind of like also have like the other design to it. I mean, you could probably go with the speed skirts or possibly even the tuner skirts, but they stick out too much, and his were just kind of like straight down and kind of like blocky. That's kind of why I went with these two. It's more of a blocky style to it. So the GT skirts, in my personal opinion, are the best option, but let me know what you guys choose down in the comment section down below. From there, we move on to the splitters. I went with the tuner splitter. Now, the main reason for this is, even though it makes the front end a little bit longer, and I would kind of go personally with the primary splitter, it doesn't make the actual body kit all that long. So I went with the tuner splitter, kind of get rid of the holes on the bottom, like the vents and everything, and just kind of extend that side to kind of make that body kit style look a little bit more fitting, and it does fit a lot better in my personal opinion. It also kind of matches the back bumper too, but me personally, this is the way I think the car looks the best. So yes, the tuner splitter is the best option in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the spoiler. You want to go with the drift spoiler. It pretty much has the exact spoiler that was on the real life car. It was maybe a little bit bigger, but other than that, I mean, it looks exactly like it, and it fits perfectly. It has the light on the back as well, and I mean, it's color coded and everything. So the drift spoiler is the best option in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the sun strips. You don't want to add one. I mean, if you really wanted to, you possibly could, and it does look like you did have one, but it would be black and it wouldn't have that Pisswasser on there, but it wasn't really that big or that long. So I would go with none personally, but it's completely your choice if you actually want to add the secondary sun strip to it. From there, move on to the suspension. I went with a lowered suspension. It doesn't seem like it was lowered all that much, if even at all. So the two I would recommend the best would be either stock or lowered. So yeah, the stock and the lowered options are the best options in my personal opinion, but me personally, I think lowered is the best option to go for. From there, move on to the turbo. Now, unfortunately, this thing probably didn't have a turbo. I didn't hear no blow off. I would definitely not add a turbo, but if you want that little bit more performance, and if you're gonna possibly use it for like racing some people, you know, hypothetically and all that, I would probably add the turbo tuning, even though it didn't have one. But if you want to make it more realistic, more better to the build, more realistic to the actual movie, I would probably go with none. From there, move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type, you want to go to the sport category, you want to go to the stock rims, and you want to put on the Uzer rims. Now, these I think fit the best. They have the same kind of style to them. If you look at them from the side, they look like the same exact spokes from the actual ones that are actually on the car. After you have the Uzers on, you want to go down to wheel color, you want to go to the dark ivory, and you want to apply that. Now, the reason I say this is because a lot of people think that they were black, but they were actually not black rims. They were actually more of a bronze or like a dark brown color. So if you go to like a dark copper and a dark brown, I know dark brown, Stevie Wonder Kid did that. I'm not sure exactly what C8 did. You could go with a bronze, but I kind of think a mixture between bronze and a dark copper is a dark ivory, and then mixture between a dark brown is also a dark ivory. So you still get that kind of bronzish kind of look to it, but in the dark, it actually makes it look a lot more like black rims. So dark ivory is my best choice, but there are a lot of options. You can go with like a dark copper, you can go with a dark ivory, you can dark brown, or you can even go with a bronze color if you really wanted to. Like I said, I think the rims were pretty much bronze or something along those lines, but a lot of people go with like a really dark color to kind of get that black look to it, and then some people go with a really bright color. So I think, like I said, a mixture between dark copper and bronze is a nice dark ivory, and then it also is a mixture of the dark copper and bronze mixed with a dark brown to kind of get that dark ivory color. So you have the darkness of the dark brown with the dark ivory, and then you also have the light of the dark copper and the bronze with the dark ivory as well. Again, my personal opinion. You can let me know what you guys choose down below. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You just want to keep them stock. Don't worry about adding tire text to them. From there, move on to the tire enhancements. You just want to go with the standard tires. I know it's GT Online. You can add bulletproof tires on if you wish. Completely your call if you want to do that. Me, I like building my cars up to standards, so I just go with standard tires. No pun intended on the standard thing. After that, move on to the tire smoke. I just go with the white tire smoke. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Never really change it from white or black. After that, move on to the windows. You want to go with a nice dark limo tint. Now, the reason I say this is because it was the very first movie. So they had street racing. And street racing, you want to have your cars darked out. You want to make them look like mean and mysterious and all that kind of stuff. Not be able to see who's actually driving the car and all that. So be a little more hidden, I guess. So they kind of went with a darker tint on this, and they went with, I would say, a limo, in my personal opinion. You could also go with a dark smoke if you really wanted to, if you think limo's too dark, but I wouldn't go any lighter than a dark smoke, personally. But me, I'm gonna go with the limo. I think limo fits really well, and I think the windows were actually really, really dark. All right, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a roll steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car in my primer out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be doing for my build and how I do them. So this time is just going to be an LSC color. I don't see on a reason on making a custom crew color for this. So you just want to go to the primary color. You want to go down to the classics, and you will go down to the very bottom. And you want to put on a nice ice white. That's going to give that nice white color to the car, as well as not adding a pearlescent to there. If you don't want to, you can actually go down for pearlescence and make sure it is on black, because technically, even though I did put classic on, it still thinks of it as a metallic as well, which is kind of weird. But then if you go to pearlescence, you have to make sure it is on black. So do make sure you do that. I'm not sure if this works the same way in the LSC, but I do know it works in the LS car meet. Do make sure your primary color is on ice white and your pearlescence on black if you're going to be doing a classic or a metallic. From there, move on to the secondary color. You want to go down to classics, and you want to put on a nice ice white. Now, the reason for this is, one, it changes the stitching on the inside. And from the movie and from pictures I'm going to be showing, his stitching on his seats and on the actual steering wheel is actually white. So I figured what better to actually work well with the white color than an ice white, which is the primary color I put on the car as well. Not only that, the secondary color also changes the brake calipers. Now you're probably thinking, we didn't really see the brake calipers all that much. So I was thinking adding an ice white actually works pretty well, because it makes the brake caliper and the brake disc kind of blend in as all one piece. So you barely notice the brake calipers change, and it doesn't really stick out as much. And I think it's a really good option. So that's why I went for an ice white for the secondary color. After that, move on to the trim color. You know me, graphite all the way. Usually it is mainly stock with graphite, so I usually don't change it. You can change it to black if you really wanted to, but me personally, why waste the money? Just save it graphite. It's literally the same exact thing. You barely see a difference. And that is it. That's how you recreate the 1993 Honda Civic Coupe that Danny Yamato drives in The Fast and the Furious. Again, it was the very first race, but I mean, overall, I think the car turned out great. It's probably the best build, probably the closest build in real life as possible in the game that we can get. So yeah, I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. All right, so we're gonna go outside. It's probably gonna be nice and dark out, so I kind of want to get a dark look at this, even though I do want to get it in the light as well. Yeah, we're gonna go outside. All right, so the sun is still out for a little bit. I'm gonna do a little spin for you guys real quick, so you guys can see the car in all its glory. Again, it's very weird. It's a white car with blue and gold like livery or like vinyls or whatever, with a lime green neon. I don't know the logic behind it all. I mean, it does make it stand out a lot more, and as you see as we get in the dark here, the rims kind of do look a little bit black, but they still have that little bit of copperish kind of look to them as well. Now, I will say that this car does not handle the greatest. This car is more along the lines of a build for collection, not really race performance wise. I mean, it doesn't handle the greatest, but it doesn't handle the worst either. I've handled cars that handled the absolute terrible. Overall, I am happy with how the build turned out. I wouldn't really change too much. Maybe the hood a little bit, and maybe like a color I could get on the rims, but that's probably about it. I don't really see too many issues or too many problems with this car. I think it's one of the more accurate builds I've actually done that Rockstar can actually allow us to make. But yeah, like I said, I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. As always, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. Again, if you guys get this video to 100 likes, I will bring out Edwin's Acura Integra build. Yeah, that one. I'll just keep an eye on the video, see how well it's doing. But yeah, with all that being said, links are down in the description below for the crew, Discord, and my Twitter. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, as always. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.